Look at it this way. Say that you work 14 hours a day, 12 hours a day, whatever it is, 10 hours a day, trying to reach that first $100,000 in savings. But at the same time, you're destroying your health because you're putting in, the stress levels are so high, you're burning the midnight oil, and you're doing it for so long. Originally you were just only going to do it for a few months, but then it just turned out that you're just doing it for longer and longer. So now you become the guy that starts piling up the money, but all of a sudden you're poor in health. You're not just poor in health, you're poor in knowledge of health, knowledge of a lot of other things, knowledge of all of the other things that you are not able to spend time learning and doing and practicing. Hey there, welcome back. Step back into my office. Yes, we're right here. No worries, we're right over here. How to save your first 6 figures. Yes, I have done that many, many years ago when I was younger. There are specific things that one can do. They used to have a saying, the very first 100,000 is the hardest. And I think it's not because it's your first 100,000. I think it's because it sounds overwhelming to someone that's never done it. But really, what it comes down to is having the saving habit. Now, nowadays, you see a lot of talk about don't save, you're a fool if you save. What they're really saying is that every little bit that you save, you're putting it into something that grows, which is known as an investment. So yeah, that's what you want to be doing. But I think that the hardest part about that is that people don't have the saving discipline ingrained into them. And okay, we've talked about rich frugal, and that goes a long way. And until you get really good at that, which, by the way, if you want to fast track that, there is a way to do that. And, you can talk to people that have done it before you. Yours truly. So there's a way to fast track rich frugal. But there are things you can do. Saving money has to become something that you just do all of the time without even thinking. And whatever it takes for somebody to reach that level where they're not even thinking about it and making it habitual. And the way I've confirmed in my life, there was a saying that if you do something every single day for a minimum of 3 weeks, and I would say 30 days, then you're well on your way to making it a habit. And it does. It becomes a habit. Like if you're earning, let's just say $200 a day, and as a percentage, you know that you're saving 10% every month out of your salary, so that you know that every day your average is that you're saving is the 10%. And so you can pencil in every day, whatever it takes that you have to do to make it a habit. But that's not the only thing. It's not just saving the money. And I know the title of this video is Saving Your First 100,000. But there's a lot that goes into that. And for example, if you were to plant 10 fruit trees of 10 different varieties, if each tree bloomed in a different month, every month you'd have fruit. And yeah, you'd have to plant the tree, and it would take a year or two depending on what the fruit is, and some of them take longer, but you can just little by little, it's something that what you sow, you reap. And that's just one example of the things that you can do, because you've got to pay attention to what's going out the door too. And it's not just what's coming in, because a lot of the focus always seems to be on what's coming in. Wealthy people get wealthy and remain wealthy, and you've seen this where you see really rich people that are super tight, and you see this happening with people that they'll be rich or millionaires, and they go to a place like the cheapest country where all the poor folks are, like Ecuador and stuff, and it's like you're like going, what in the world? Why are these people doing this? I mean, out of all the places they can be going, why the rich people? They must not really be rich. Usually what it is they're semi-wealthy and they just want to feel as if they are wealthier than they actually are. But there are some wealthy people that actually do go to places like that. Nothing against Ecuador now. That's not how I meant that. But just to say that it's a mentality and it's a thought process. And so what they're looking at is value. They're looking at value, and they've made it a habit to think in terms of value, which is what I was talking about in the other video when I was talking about name brands, is we need to look beyond the name brand and look at the amount of value that you're receiving, not the amount of value that you're perceiving because of a name brand. But the amount of value that you receive is a way of thinking, and it becomes habitual. And so when you start thinking about value, and value then turns into abundance, because when you create value, you create abundance. And so we can create value by having an abundance mindset. And I know you've heard this before, but the abundance mindset, it translates into a kind of thinking that looks at all things and not just what seems to be prevalent at the time. Because look at it this way. Say that you work 14 hours a day, 12 hours a day, whatever it is, 10 hours a day, trying to reach that first $100,000 in savings. But at the same time, you're destroying your health because you're putting in, the stress levels are so high, you're burning the midnight oil, and you're doing it for so long. Originally you were just only going to do it for a few months, but then it just turned out that you're just doing it for longer and longer. So now you become the guy that starts piling up the money, but all of a sudden you're poor in health. You're not just poor in health, you're poor in knowledge of health, knowledge of a lot of other things, knowledge of all of the other things that you are not able to spend time learning and doing and practicing. And so what we want is a comprehensive picture of how to achieve these kinds of goals. And I really don't think that it's a good goal to begin with, because it's just a number. You have to be super careful about numbers. I don't really care about the guy that comes on social media and the first sentence is, "I've got $6 million." The insinuation is, and it is an achievement, don't get me wrong, it's an achievement, but the insinuation is, I know something, listen to me. And I'm not saying they don't. They know something. They know how to achieve the $6 million. But my question is, what did it cost you in your personal life to get there? What was your life cost to get there? And so the values that we need to be looking at are not just the value in a figure and a number, but it's the value in your life, in your living. And a lot of people nowadays are figuring that out. You see all these videos now about people quitting their jobs, and of course the slant, depending on what videos you watch, is all about how, oh well, people this and that, but there's a lot behind the story. We won't go into it. But regardless, it's a catalyst that has caused people to rethink their lives. It is a good thing. Anytime people can put balance back into their lives, not focus so much, and I'm not saying materialistic things don't have a value and don't have a place. We live in a material world, and somewhere along the line, somebody turned it into a money economy, and little by little, they have clipped off all the little things that cause us to have to depend on a money economy. And this is something that's happened through the centuries. So, but you can save your first 6 figures, and you can do it in a holistic manner. And a lot of people go abroad and pay less taxes, and that's one way of doing it. But another way of doing it is also looking at every aspect of your life and seeking value in all other areas of your life. If you've got time to take care of your health because you planted those 10 trees and you're eating fresh organic fruit every day and you didn't have to spend an arm and a leg on it because it's your fruit and it's your trees, You get to go outside and prune your trees in the fresh sunshine. You breathe fresh air. It's good for your health. Everything is symbiotic. Because you're healthy, you don't worry about having to have money for hospitals and doctors. It just, everything works together. What's the point of getting on a treadmill and trying to get to some figure when it's not a symbiotic thing, and all of these other things that aren't really kind of working against you that I just mentioned, which just causes you to have to work even harder to try to reach that goal, which isn't really a very good goal to begin with. The goal, when the goal should be one of a value mindset, prosperity and value, and I call it rich frugal. Nowadays you got to have all these catchy phrases. You know, it's funny because I see people on channels saying, you know what? Oh, I should have said this in the other video. I see people saying, you know, I used to like your channel, but now you've got all these catchy titles and I don't like it anymore. You know, whenever I see somebody that says that, you know you're not really listening to somebody that has to run a YouTube channel. Because if they were running a YouTube channel, they wouldn't be saying that, because YouTube itself tells you, as a YouTuber with a channel, we get messages from YouTube and they say, you might want to try a catchier title on this video. It's not getting as much interest as some of your other videos. Yes, YouTube itself tells that to people. So before you tell people, you know, I'm going to unsubscribe because, you know, your titles are this and that, I understand that some people are going to do that. You know, more power to you. Good luck. Hope you find what you're looking for. But what I notice is that with the more and more thousands and tens of thousands of people globally that are getting on the internet every month and getting on YouTube specifically, it gets so competitive that even popular channels sooner or later have to resort to catchy titles, and YouTube itself actually encourages us to do so. So, you know, hope you got something out of that. Thanks for coming to the channel. Have a wonderful day.